Hey everybody, and welcome back to Rugby Wrap Up and this week's What Are the Odds? Your Major League Rugby sports betting show starring WWE legend and Fox Business analyst John Bradshaw Layfield, his gambling guru, the best sports bettor ever, the Philly Godfather, and our gift of rugby, Gift Egbelu of the Gift Time Rugby Network, host of the Grow Rugby Show, and director of the HBCU Rugby Classic. Guys, what a wild, crazy weekend of Major League Rugby. And just let's get right to it. Gift, you were the man this week. 4-1-1. How do you do it?
It's what happens when I told you guys. I'm coming back all June. We're getting ready to go into the playoffs. That wooden spoon is going to burn.
You're just walking the walk. You talk the talk, and now you walk the walk, Gift.
Let's go. Let's go. I mean, albeit it would help more if it wasn't all of us who had made basically the same picks. But, I mean, you take them. Take it as you can. Take it as you can.
Now, the rest of us were 3-2-1, but with the tiebreaker on the wooden spoon tiebreaker, John loses, so John gets the wooden spoon this week. Congratulations, John. You want to say a few words?
Yeah, I want to give you the wooden plunger is what I want to give you. That's what I think both of you as a commentator and you as host of this show. If you were better, you'd suck.
Godfather, should I call human resources about this? Is this
Matt, some were born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. And you absolutely got nothing to do with that. So I don't
A2 Brute. Okay. All right. Let's get to some rugby with this Scarface Godfather there. I like that little backdrop you got there, Godfather. But let's get right to the nitty-gritty.
Would you stop? He doesn't like you. Gift doesn't like you. I don't like you. It doesn't matter what you say. Would you quit? Just do the show.
I don't know that I can continue under these circumstances.
I hope you can't.
All right, NOLA went into D.C., John's fifth hometown, and they won. It was -3 Gift. You predicted that this was going to end the drought. They didn't make it easy, but they did cover the spread. That's all we care about. 25-21, NOLA beating the nation's capital, D.C., Old Glory.
They tied it last time. And look, the last 2 years, New Orleans has started off super hot and fizzled out at the end. Nate Osborne, he's petty, all right? He's petty, and he said, I'm going to get my playoffs this time. We're not doing it anymore. And lo and behold, might be on the road. Don't let those other 2 games fool you. Those are just warm-ups. Now New Orleans road team is on and popping, and the continuing trend of that shall keep going. Hallelujah. Preach it.
Amen to that, John. How do you follow that up?
Because I'm bringing out the Mayan calendar. And what I realized in the middle of this Mayan calendar is you. You were forecast as the apocalypse. We've had cicadas, we've had a pandemic, and we have you. And it was all forecast on the Mayan calendar. That's how I respond to that.
Thank you. Thank you. I am honored. Thank you, John. Thank you. Godfather, he's plunging into depths we haven't seen before.
keep that plunger away from me. That's all I'm saying. But I'm just happy NOLA won. They covered. They made us some money. I don't like politicians anyway.
Okay, let that one sink in a little bit. Tirana went into John's other hometown, Austin, Texas. It was Austin -5. Godfather, you talked me into this one, and Austin won 47-21. Toronto did not show up in the match.
Even a wise squirrel steps on his own nuts sometimes, and that's exactly what I did with Austin here. I mean, they're just a better defensive team. Better team overall. I don't know what the hell I was smoking. Maybe I was hanging out with Gibbs Cat. I don't know what I was doing. I'm sorry, man.
Gift, you predicted this one correctly. How did you do it? Again, because you're 4-1-1. You walk in the walk.
Austin finally decided no longer to be gentrified LA for at least one more day. They went so far to actually decide to go past 20 points. That tells you a lot. Like, they were feeling the heat, and they actually decided to show that they had an oven. They had a prop run for like 50 meters to get a try. This is how serious it is and how much nobody likes Canada.
John, he brought up props, and he brought up You brought up putting a wall around Austin and Texas, actually, to keep people from Oklahoma out. And Chance Wenglewski, one of the best young props in the United States, who plays for Atlanta, we'll talk about him later, is from Oklahoma. And he's heard me he's heard this show. He's heard you say that.
Yeah, well, that's why we need a wall. We need to keep all the foreign invaders out back in Okie land. That's what we need, okay? They can stay up there with their bingo parlors and their meth labs and just stay up there and stay out of promised land, which is the great state of Texas, okay?
Okay.
I've learned a couple things today, okay? I learned that a wise squirrel can step on his own nuts sometimes, and that nobody likes Canada, according to Gift. So I've learned something today. And yeah, we're going to build a damn wall, and Oklahoma's going to pay for it.
All right. Well, he didn't say anything, so I was just making it up. Anyway, and to San Diego.
Starting beef.
At Utah. San Diego -3. The Mountain Men, Gift. They were down by a lot. That they had allowed 2 tries with a man in the bin. It was all over. The stadium was dead as a doornail. And then that thing that blocks whatever it blocks worked in their behalf. They stormed back and stole the win and broke San Diego's hearts.
San Diego has an opportunity to finally finish dominating out, erase the beginning of the year out of their memories, and actually continue on forward. And of course, like passive LA would be expected, they're going to flub it up at the end and let the people from on high come down and take over.
San Diego's in trouble. Look, they had to win this game. And it's the fact that they didn't, it shows that the resurgence that they're having came to a stop.
Well, Godfather, they did get those 2 important bonus points in the loss.
I mean, they should have won. They've been playing some great rugby. Over recent play, they've won 3 straight games. The point differential was right around 65. So they were blowing teams out. But again, the altitude, we saw what it did in this matchup late in the game. You saw Utah come back. And that's a huge advantage. Anytime any team has to go up to Utah and play that team, that's going to be very difficult. Late in the game, we see it almost every week, how teams fade late and Utah pulls out these victories.
Yeah, 4 matches remaining. They're 10 points behind Utah. But each of these teams plays games that could change everything. So, they're still alive by a long shot. The next one up was Atlanta going to New York. And Atlanta was the visiting team, -3 on top of the table. And it was a great match, 31-24. Atlanta did not cover, Gift.
What happened when you play a good rivalry game? You take on New Orleans, you get cheap wins, and you're going to get punished for it as a result of it. And Atlanta finally ended their trend. They did it to LA, and now they got it done to them. I got to give it to New York. New York is a king killer, at least for a moment. And Atlanta, it was overdue.
John, the field was littered with guys, and Nate Brakely was the man of the match, and he said, "Yeah, I'm one of the few ones left standing after all the attrition on the field." It was a heavyweight battle. These guys were banging away. The outcome wasn't secure until the ball was kicked at the touch at death. And it was basically what could be a foreshadowing of at least the semifinal.
Yeah, it was a terrific rugby game, and New York is a king killer, like Gift said. LA goes in there, they lose. Atlanta is leading the East. They go in there and lose. And I said last week at 7-3, somehow New York is underrated here, which is remarkable considering the record. Now at 8-3, people are starting to realize that this is a really good, well-structured, good rugby team. Steve Lewis has a great influence there, and they are a well-coached team and a very physical team, we found out last weekend.
And the announcer, the broadcast team, was exceptional for this one. Probably the best, in ages. Godfather, can you bail me out on this one?
I mean, New York's got such a great home field advantage, real tough place to play. And Atlanta had played a war the previous week, a bloody battle against NOLA. They barely won that game 8-7. It took a lot of, emotion just to win that game. And they came out a little flat. And, New York did what they had to do. And maybe they had one too many pretzels up there.
Maybe 1 or 2. And it was at St. John's University, which was very cool. Seattle went into New England, and they kind of threw a curveball at all of us because they were leading the game once again the entire match before blowing it. And in brutal fashion, they blew this one. And New England escapes at home with a full house pretty much, 25-21. So we were given 4. We all tie. So dancing with your sister, Gift, whom I haven't met.
And I haven't either. New England has constantly been disappointed. They disappointed last week with their barely win over DC. And even bigger, I don't understand how this team is ahead of New Orleans right now. It is disrespectful. Seattle is not on an upward trajectory. They're just nobody. They have nothing to play for. So you may as well ruin everybody else's time.
I kind of agree with Gift. They're underwhelming. I mean, look at the circumstances surrounding this game. You had travel for Seattle. You had New England, the better team, better point differential, and they were losing the game. And they were lucky to come back, and we were lucky to push on this wager. But they should have blew this team out, like Gift said. This is a team that I'm not high on. I'm selling on this team. 25-21. I mean, it would have been better to dance with your sister, Matt, if we won this wager. But I'll take the push and kiss my sister here. And, push is better than a loss any day of the week.
Ferdinand Magellan there, Mr. Gift, saying that they traveled 1,000 miles. That wouldn't get them to St. Louis.
I got to defend Gift here, John, because two things that we've learned during the course of the show this season is it's feelings over facts, and guys are well rested on long flights.
That's how bad this is against New England. Seattle didn't even make it all the way there, and they still barely beat them.
That's a great comeback.
The next one up, Houston at LA. Houston did score a try in this one, losing 52-5.
Yeah, I mean, the greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. But Houston just blows. I mean, this team is just getting crushed every week. I will never bet on this team again. They are so bad. One of the worst point differentials, worst record. I just fade this team every week, and you're going to make a fortune. That's the bottom line.
John, any thoughts on this one? LA running them out of the building at the Coliseum?
Yeah, Houston doesn't score a couple of games in a row. Their second and third game, then they come back and score a ton of points. I don't know how that happened. That was some type of cosmic disturbance that was going on. I better check my Mayan calendar, but Philly Godfather is right. They're just not good. And they got 5 points against LA. Maybe that's a moral victory. If it is, that's even worse.
They might be one of the worst teams in history. You got what, the 72 Phillies, 72 Oilers, 92 Sixers. Their record was 9-73. 2008 Detroit Lions 0-16, and then you got this Houston SaberCats team. They're just so bad.
Gift, any positives coming out of Houston for you?
They have a really good developmental squad and some great guys that are there. Hopefully they in this next roundabout, they treat Paul not less like Coach Ogeron at USC and treat him more like Coach Ogeron at LSU this time.
And I will say this, Grant Cole is a good man who helps with that developmental program there, and they do have very good people that are running that. Hopefully they will get them up on the main roster soon.
All right, here's hoping that Houston straightens things out. Some kind words from John and Gift after Godfathers basically said they blow.
It costs us money every week. I mean, this team's killing.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break and come back with picks that don't suck so you can make some money after this. If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Been blind since I was 4. And I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer's Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
Yeah, and we are back with Gift Egbelu, John Bradshaw, Layfield, and the Philly Godfather. Gentlemen, we need to really step it up now. We're in the home stretch. We got to make some people some money, and to do that, we have to pick some good ones, Gift. You hear what I'm saying? You're 4-1-1 this week. You got to keep it going, and we'll start with you, Utah, the Mountain Men, the Mountain People, going into the Big Apple, and it's New York. -3, Gift.
Utah has been on fire. They have been taking the air from the top of that mountain and just suffocating teams along this way, surprising us going forward. I look at New York being able to defend at home, even if they're going back to Jersey City.
Godfather, can they hold fort, New York?
I mean, both teams have been playing some great rugby. Both teams have 3-game winning streaks. Took a lot of energy last week for Utah to come back against that San Diego team. Man, but New York is banged up. On the road, travel. This one's tough. This one's a coin flip. And anytime it's a coin flip, give me the dog +3. Give me the road dog +3, or give me Utah +3.
And John, Utah played a very physical match against San Diego. San Diego's second string scrum half, Ethan McVie, came in and got knocked out. But they have that long trip. And although Gift says, there's a lot of rest on those flights, you have a different viewpoint of that, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think the travel is going to affect them. I also think both teams played emotional games last week. I think maybe New York more so because they're playing the beast of the East at the time, #1 team in the East. They hold home court advantage in a very physical game. It's tough to play 2 physical, emotional games in a row, but Utah did it as well. So I think with the travel, I'm with the Godfather here. It's a coin flip, but I'm going to go with Stephen Lewis and Rugby United on this one. I think they hold serve on this, and they end up chopping them up. I know where you're going to go because you're a sycophant, and you're up Steve Lewis's hindquarters, and you're going to pick New York, aren't you?
That's hurtful, and I'm sorry that you feel that way about me, but I just try to follow the money, as Godfather has taught me. The great Godfather has taught me how to follow the money and follow the winners. And New York is 8-3 on the season, John. I don't think there's many people out there that would have a hard time or call out a conspiracy or say these nasty things if they just saw that it was 8-3 and it's a money team.
Steve Lewis is your drinking buddy, and the only reason he is because you buy the drinks.
Well, he is Scottish, and they have the shortest arms on the planet. I think the key to this one is going to be whether Kara Pryor's healthy, but Kyle Sumption had a great match. I like New York. I'm going with New York in this one. You could stick it up.
Oh, that's a surprise. You like New York.
Yeah.
Every week.
I can't deny or confirm. I just know that I follow the money each week, and it's just all a blur.
You follow the money because you're right by the wallet that is on Steve Lewis's pants because you're up his hindquarters. That's where the money is. It's by your feet because everything else is stuck up his hindquarters.
Okay. All right. Segueing to NOLA at Toronto in Atlanta, Ontario. NOLA -3. Gift. Is this the one where your guys just blow it?
Atlanta is Sedity New Orleans. Like, the only reason New Orleans has ever lost in Atlanta is just because you're basically playing yourself. All right. This isn't playing yourself. There's no Power of Life University coming in advantage for Toronto. Nobody likes Canada. All right. Toronto got worked last week. They're going to get worked again this week. Maybe just slightly closer version of getting worked, but this is basically a home game. All right. We're not dealing it. And on top of that, Atlanta's going to be there to be able to watch it. So New Orleans is trying to dare them. Look, we're going to come for you in the playoffs. Toronto's not doing anything here. New Orleans all day, man. New Orleans all day.
Does anybody like Canada? I like Canada. Do you like Canada?
I like Canadian bacon. There's nothing wrong with that. A couple beers once in a while. Montreal was nice back in the day. It was 80 US, 120 Canadian. That was a blast. This game's tough, man. I mean, Toronto's lost 4 of the last 5. NOLA's won 3 of the last 4. NOLA has the better overall record, even though Toronto has the better point differential. I just think Toronto, these are 2 teams headed in polar opposite directions. It's a road game, but not really. Give me NOLA -3.
John, what do you think about NOLA versus Toronto?
NOLA. It's NOLA. Battling the team up north. Now, I will feel the Godfather on the money exchange rate in Montreal. Also, some really, really beautiful women in Montreal. Great cowboy bar in Calgary, by the way. It's on Penny Lane. 123 Penny Lane used to be.
What does Calgary have to do with Montreal?
It's Toronto. I mean, it's all about Canada.
Do they speak Canadian up there?
They do.
They do, yeah. You got to get a Rosetta Stone and a visa to go up there. And you have a Canadian Rosetta Stone, and you can talk to Canadians, eh? Then you drink a Molson's, and next thing you know, you're snuggling with a moose, curling. That's what you do up there. Canada's a wonderful place. But so is NOLA. And NOLA has the gold mine. I'm going with NOLA all the freaking way.
We've got Houston going into Atlanta. Atlanta -6, Gift.
Houston's flying Atlanta. Come on, really? Do we really got to do this? Like, I mean, look, Houston, sometimes you got to look forward to the draft, get ready for the off season. I really am excited to see, what the future holds for Houston. I mean, Atlanta's going to win in this one and take all the points, but, they can use schematics and, utilize old players and stuff. Yay, Houston, but Atlanta.
All right. Speaking of schematics, I did get to meet Scott Lawrence, the head coach and director of rugby for Atlanta, and a bunch of those guys. Great team, great guys. And the schematics, I can't argue with it. Can you, Godfather?
Out of the mountain of despair, there's usually a stone of hope somewhere. But I think they legalized marijuana in Houston, and these guys must be smoking, getting stoned like crazy. I don't know what's going on down there. They just can't win a game. I can't take that team. Give me Atlanta here. Give me Atlanta's minus 6. I think they kill Houston.
John, Texas, baby. Come on, John. Houston. Come on, John.
That's not Texas.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
I'm taking Atlanta, yes.
Despicable Texan is what you are. You're a despicable Texan.
Atlanta has a very physical game last week. You could be due for a letdown this week, but they're playing Houston. They're playing at home. Houston got killed last week in L.A. Now they're going to get killed on the other coast.
Moving right along, Los Angeles goes to San Diego. Gift calls San Diego Sedity Los Angeles, in case you get confused out there.
Passive Los Angeles now. They've been downgraded to passive. They have not been bougie enough to earn that title anymore.
Is it downgraded or upgraded? Is it less insulting or more insulting?
It is a down. At least bougie, you can have an attitude, but whenever you go passive, you're just LA is passive by itself. You just drop the standard even more.
All right. I have no idea what any of that means, but Gift, on this show, we're picking spreads. And LA is giving 8 points to San Diego.
San Diego, you're at home. You have a chance to be nice near the coast, take that beautiful air, bring it all around, take the energy out, utilize it to your favor so that Los Angeles can completely continue their run of dominating through, because it's still unfair. This is still an LA team going against a lesser version of another LA team. Like, I take the 8, but it's going to still be an LA favor. I'm taking the advantage over on this one because San Diego still has not fully understood what it means to select violence consistently.
What do you think, John?
You got LA with a huge Australian presence, and I've got my didgeridoo out. An ancient musical instrument from the sacred mountain of Uluru. And that tells me right there that give the points and go with Gift and his Kizat Smizoki.
The ancient mountain of Uluru, Godfather. What would Tony Montana do here?
It's just too much to overcome. Plus 2 11-point differential, 9-2 record. San Diego's playing some good rugby. They had won 3 in a row. Then they hit a wall when they played Utah. Not much travel in this game. LA is just too big, too strong, too fast. Give me LA minus the 8.
All right, I'm gonna shake the tree a little bit, rock the earth. I'm gonna take San Diego with those 8 points. I think they're gonna rebound and play well enough to be within that 8 points. They have to. They are absolutely desperate, and maybe LA rests a guy or two. You never know. I'm going with San Diego. Give John a shot to catch up to me a little bit as I'm distancing myself and crushing him on the season. Austin. Speaking of John, going into Seattle, and Austin only -4. Curiously enough.
Austin needs a win. They're going into the black hole, as Gift says, but I don't think it matters. They are going to roll over Seattle.
All right. Gift, what do you think about Starfire, Sunfire, Black Hole Stadium?
Seattle is going to be able to take this opportunity to prevent Austin from putting 40 points on them. I even believe they're going to stop them from putting 30 points on them. I'll even go so far to stop them from putting 20. So basically, they're just going to make Austin back to what they typically are and still lose. Seattle continues to follow their losing ways, continue to be that sunken fallen star of a location, and Austin will shine over there.
Sunken fallen star Fire Field is where they play, Godfather, in case you were wondering.
Too much defense for Austin. Seattle's got second worst record. Second worst point differential. Austin likes to beat up on bad teams. They're really their only bad loss on the year, I think, came against Utah. But other than that, they played LA tough in a low-scoring game. I think they held LA to 17 points. Seattle might not even score here. Give me Austin here.
I think Seattle's going to make this uncomfortable for Austin, but Austin's going to win by 4.
Pick Seattle. Well, if you're so smart and you're so contrarian, pick Seattle. Go ahead, do it. Go ahead, tough guy.
I'm not gonna.
Go ahead.
This is cyberbullying, and I am not going to.
You want to be big time? You got to bet big time.
That's right.
I'm staying with my pick. I'm going with the money, guy. I'm going with the money. It's going to be Austin covering the spread gift. That means they're going to -4, win by more than 4. That's what giving 4 means 17 weeks into the show. Final thoughts, 30 seconds each. Gift, anything that you want to say?
The rise comes back again. Not Atlanta's rise, but New Orleans' rise and mine.
John, he's risen. You fell again to the wooden spoon. What do you have to say for
I didn't
yourself?
have the wooden spoon. I had the same record as you and
Because
Philly
we
Godfather.
discussed this earlier, John.
Tiebreaker, ain't no nothing like that, okay? I will say this. God bless Texas. They going up to Seattle, and what they're going to do is they're going to use this baseball bat from the Louisville Slugger Museum and go BAM on a can, and they're going to open up that can, whoop ass is what they're going to do. They may bring a whole 6-pack whoop ass. They may bring a case whoop ass. But they going up to the black hole, and they going to run, Texas, run.
Godfather, final thoughts?
There's a lot of top-heavy tilted games this week. I mean, LA's favored by 11. Atlanta's favored by 6. We could see some blowouts, but this New York-Utah game really intrigues me. Both teams on 3-game winning streaks. We're going to find out who's the real deal here. Is it New York or is it the Mountain Men of Utah?
Yeah, we'll see how the Mormons do with the distractions of Times Square. On that note, we're out of time. I want to thank my esteemed colleagues, the WWE Hall of Famer John Bradshaw Layfield, plunging to new depths, the best goddamn sports gambler ever, the Philly Godfather, Tony Montana lookalike, and the gift of rugby and to mankind, Mr. Gift Egbelu. On behalf of these gentlemen, I'm Matt McCarthy. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week and check out our other segments in the meantime, including our Major League Rugby show, our global rugby recap, martial law, the Zack Attack, and please sign up for our American Red Cross Rugby Wrap-Up Blood Donor Team.